Please create alternative title. I had seen a lot in my life. Starships burning in deep space, alien worlds with landscapes no human imagination could ever grasp, and species so different from us that even breathing their air would be impossible. Yet nothing prepared me for the moment she looked at me. I had landed on Veyara 9 expecting a simple research assignment. My job was to collect atmospheric samples, record alien plant growth patterns, and keep a low profile. The research colony on the northern plains of Veyara 9 was only partially functional, a makeshift station hovering between the cliff faces and fluorescent jungles. Scientists had warned me that the local fauna could be dangerous. What they didn't warn me about, however, was the inhabitants. The first glance. The first time I saw her, she was standing at the edge of a cliff, overlooking the valley below. Her skin shimmered in hues I couldn't name, like the northern lights had been distilled into a living form. She had 4 arms, elongated fingers, and her eyes were a radiant violet, flecked with gold. She didn't wear clothing as we know it, but a form of bioluminescent markings ran across her torso and arms, pulsing faintly as if synced to her heartbeat. I froze. Humans aren't supposed to encounter natives unprepared, especially not a sentient species. Yet there I was, staring. She noticed instantly. "Why are you staring at me, human?" she asked, her voice a melody and a warning all at once. I stumbled backward, nearly tripping over my sampling equipment. My mind raced. I wanted to explain, to apologize, but no words came. You startled me," I managed to say. She raised one of her arms and tilted her head. "Stare at me again, and you will regret it." It wasn't threatening, at least not in the way humans think of threats, but it carried a weight, a command that felt like gravity pressing down on my chest. I realized that this was my first encounter with a fully sentient alien being outside controlled environments. And I was doing it wrong. The cultural shock. The colony leader later explained something about the Veyrans. They could sense emotional intent almost instantly. Staring, prolonged eye contact, or showing curiosity without consent was considered a deeply offensive act. My natural human curiosity had triggered a social offense. I had to recover. "Look, I didn't mean," I began, but she interrupted. "You humans are fascinating, but reckless," she said. Her 4 eyes locked on mine. "Do you have any idea how dangerous your species is in its ignorance?" Before I could respond, she shifted closer. Her steps were silent, but each one sent a ripple through the bioluminescent plants at the cliff's edge. I realized she wasn't just native to Veyara 9, she was part of it. Everything she moved through seemed to respond to her presence. I introduced myself cautiously. "I'm Dr. Elias Rowe. I'm here for research, nothing else." She blinked, if you could call the movement of her iridescent eyelids a blink, and studied me. "A researcher. You will learn quickly that here, intentions matter as much as actions. Tell me, Elias Rowe, why should I trust you?" The standoff. We stood there for what felt like hours. Her gaze didn't falter, and neither did mine, though my mind screamed at me to look away. I remembered what the colony leader had said: the Veyrans could detect lies. Any deception would be seen as aggression. "I'm here to understand," I said finally. "I mean no harm. I only want to study your world and report findings to my people." Her lips, or the equivalent of lips, curved slightly. "Most humans say that," she said. "Few mean it. Fewer survive long enough for anyone to verify." I swallowed. "I will survive. I will respect your people, your customs, and your land." The violet gold eyes narrowed. Bold words, human. Bold words. An unexpected invitation. After the tense standoff, she finally stepped back, but her posture softened. "Follow me. Carefully. And do not stare." I nodded and followed. We walked through a forest unlike anything I had ever seen. Trees with translucent leaves whispered in the wind. Streams glowed with faint blue bioluminescence, and strange creatures moved silently in the shadows. Each step felt like trespassing in a world not meant for humans. Finally, we arrived at a large, circular structure, half organic, half crystalline. Inside, the walls pulsed with energy, responding to her presence. She turned to me. "You will learn many things here, Elias Rowe. But first, you must learn why you stare." I frowned. "Why?" She smiled, a thing terrifying and beautiful at once. "Because curiosity without understanding is dangerous. Here, seeing is not enough. You must perceive." Learning to see. Over the next several days, I stayed in her settlement, observing Veyron life and customs under her watchful gaze. Every action, every glance, every word was scrutinized. I learned that staring wasn't just a social faux pas, it was a breach of consent and energy balance. Humans projected thought energy in ways Veyrons could detect, and unguarded curiosity could destabilize entire communities. One day, while walking along a suspended bridge of bioluminescent vines, she confronted me again. "Look at me, human," she said. I hesitated. My instincts screamed to avert my gaze. But this time, I perceived. I focused not on her form, but on the subtle signals her body emitted, the pulse of her markings, the rhythm of her movement, the emotions behind her words. "Better," she said approvingly. "You are learning." The dangerous discovery. On the fourth day, she led me to a hidden chamber deep within the crystalline structure. Here, artifacts of her people's history were stored, holographic records, energy crystals, and strange devices pulsing with consciousness. "This," she said, gesturing to a large crystal in the center, "is the core of perception. It reveals the intent of anyone who enters its field. Humans rarely survive the experience." I swallowed. "Why show me this?" "Because you are different. You seek knowledge without malice. That is rare among your kind." She activated the core. Light enveloped me. I saw flashes of my own thoughts, my intentions laid bare. Then, I saw her history, her people's trials, wars, and sacrifices. I saw the burden she carried. And finally, I saw myself not as a human, but as a participant in the cosmic balance, a small piece in an enormous puzzle. When the light faded, I was trembling. "You understand now," she said softly. "Why staring, human, is more than just a glance. It is a declaration of intent. A misstep can destroy worlds." I nodded, feeling the weight of my species' recklessness. "I understand." The unexpected connection. Over the next week, she and I continued to interact. Our conversations ranged from science to philosophy, from humor to strategy. She taught me to see rather than look, to perceive intention, energy, and meaning in ways humans rarely consider. One evening, while watching the twin moons rise over the crystalline forest, she spoke quietly. "You have changed, human." "I think I have," I admitted. "Because you changed me." She smiled faintly. "Few humans can survive their own curiosity here. Fewer thrive." And then, in a rare moment of vulnerability, she said, "Do you know why I let you stare?" I shook my head. "Because I wanted to see you, not just your eyes. Not just your intentions, but you, as a being willing to learn, willing to respect, willing to survive." I realized then that the alien warning, the command, and the judgment were never about punishment. They were a test, a bridge between two species, built on trust, perception, and understanding. The departure. Eventually, my mission came to an end. I had collected my data, recorded my observations, and learned lessons that no book could teach. But the hardest part was saying goodbye. She accompanied me to the edge of the settlement. The forest pulsed softly behind her, reflecting the energy that had become her presence. "Remember," she said, "your eyes will always be curious. But your mind must guide them. Misinterpretation is the most dangerous weapon a human carries." I nodded. "I will remember. Always." She tilted her head, a faint smile forming. "Good. And perhaps, one day, humans will learn to perceive the universe rather than merely observe it." I left Vayara 9 changed. Not just as a scientist, but as a human capable of seeing, truly seeing, the infinite possibilities in the cosmos. And every time I meet someone new, or encounter a strange culture, I remember her words. "Why are you staring at me, human?" A question that had once startled me now guided my understanding of life, curiosity, and the delicate bridge between species.